Chapter 10. We spend the night at Uncle Carlos's house because the riot started again as soon as the sun went down. Somehow the store got spared. We should go to church and thank God for that, but Mom and I are too tired to sit through less than an hour of anything. Sakani wants to spend another day at Uncle Carlos's, so Sunday morning we return to Garden Heights without him. Right as we get off the freeway, we're met by a police roadblock. Only one lane of traffic isn't blocked by a patrol car, and officers talk to drivers before letting them pass through. Suddenly, it's as if someone grabbed my heart and twisted it. I swallow. Can we get around them? Doubt it. They probably got these all around the neighborhood. Mama glances over me and frowns. Munt, you okay? I grab my door handle. They can easily grab their guns and leave us like Khalil, all the blood in our bodies pooling on the street for everyone to see. Our mouths wide open, our eyes staring at the sky, searching for God. Hey, Mama cups my cheek. Hey, look at me. I try to, but my eyes are filled with tears. I'm so sick of being this damn weak. Khalil may have lost his life, but I lost something too, and it pisses me off. It's okay, Mama says. We got this, all right? Close your eyes if you have to. I do. Keep your hands visible. No sudden moves. Only speak when spoken to. The seconds drag by like hours. The officer asks Mama for her ID and proof of insurance, and I beg Black Jesus to get us home, hoping there won't be a gunshot as she searches through her purse. We finally drive off. See, baby, she says, everything's fine. Her words used to have power. If she said it was fine, it was fine. But after you've held two people as they took their last breaths, words like that don't mean shit anymore. I haven't let go of the car door handle when we pull into our driveway. Daddy comes out and knocks on my window. Mama rolls it down for me. There go my girls. He smiles, but it fades into a frown. What's wrong? You about to go somewhere, baby? Mama asks, meaning that they'll talk later. Yeah, I gotta run to the warehouse and stock up. He taps my shoulder. Hey, wanna hang out with your daddy? I'll get you some ice cream, one of those big fat tubs that'll last about a month. I laugh, even though I don't feel like it. Daddy's talented like that. I don't need all that ice cream. I didn't say you needed it. When we get back, we can watch that Harry Potter shit you like so much. No. What? He asks. Daddy, you're the worst person to watch Harry Potter with. The whole time you're talking about. I deepen my voice. Why don't they shoot that nigga Voldemort? It don't make sense in all them movies and books. Nobody thought to shoot him. If it's not that, Mama says, you're giving your Harry Potter is about gangs theory. It is, he says. Okay, so it is a good theory. Daddy claims that Hogwarts houses are really gangs. They have their own colors, their own hideouts, and they are always riding each other like gangs. Harry, Ron, and Hermione never snitch on one another, just like gangbangers. Death Eaters even have matching tattoos. And look at Voldemort. They're scared to say his name. Really, that that he who must not be named stuff is like giving him a street name. That's some gang banging shit right there. Y'all know that make a lot of sense, Daddy says. Just 'cause they was in England don't mean they wasn't gang banging. He looks at me. So you down to hang out with your old man today, or what? I'm always down to hang out with him. We roll through the streets, Tupac blasting through the subwoofers. He's rapping about keeping your head up, and Daddy glances at me as he raps along, like he's telling me the same thing Tupac is. I know you're fed up, baby, he nudges my chin, but keep your head up. He sings with the chorus about how things will get easier, and I don't know if I want to cry because that's really speaking to me right now, or crack up because Daddy's singing is so horrible. Daddy says, that was a deep dude right there. Real deep. They don't make rappers like that no more. You're showing your age, Daddy. Whatever, it's the truth. Rappers nowadays only care about money, hoes, and clothes. Showing your age, I whisper. Pac rapped about that stuff too, yeah, but he also cared about uplifting black people, Daddy says. Like he took the word N word and gave it a whole new meaning. Never ignorant getting goals accomplished. And he says, Thug life meant the hate you give little infants. F's everybody. I censor myself. This is my daddy I'm talking to, you know. You know about that? Yeah, Khalil told me what he thought it means. We were listening to Tupac right before, you know. All right, so you know it. So what do you think it means? You don't know, I ask. I know I want to hear what you think. Here he goes, picking my brain. Khalil said it's about what society feeds us as youth and how it comes back and bites them later. I think it's about more than youth, though. I think it's about us, period. Us who, he asked. Black people, minorities, poor people, everybody at the bottom of society. The oppressed, Daddy says. Yeah, we're the ones who get the short end of the stick, but we're the ones they fear the most. That's why the government targeted the Black Panthers, right? Because they were scared of the because they were scared of the Panthers? Uh-huh, Daddy says. The Panthers educated and empowered people. That tactic of empowering the oppressed goes even further back than the Panthers, though. Name one. Is he serious? He always makes me think. This one takes me a second. The slave rebellion of 1831, I say. Nat Turner empowered and educated other slaves, and it led to one of the biggest slave revolts in history. All right, you on it, he gives me a dap. So what's the hate they're giving the little infants in society today? Racism? You got it, Lil. More detailed than that. Think about Khalil and the whole situation before he died. He was a drug dealer. It hurts to say that, and probably a gang member. Why was he a drug dealer? Why are so many people in our neighborhood drug dealers? I remember what Khalil said. He got tired of choosing between lights and food. They need money, I say, and they don't have a lot of other ways of getting it. Other ways to get it. Right. Lack of opportunities, Daddy says. Corporate America don't bring jobs to our communities, and they damn sure ain't quick to hire us. And shit, even if you do have a high school diploma, so many of the schools in our neighborhoods don't prepare us well enough. That's why when your mama talked about sending you and your brothers to Williamson, I agreed. Our schools don't get the resources to equip you like Williamson does. It's easier to find some crack than it is to find a good school around here. Now think about this, he says. How did drugs even get in our neighborhood? This is a multi-billion-dollar industry we're talking about, baby. That shit has flown into our communities. But I don't know anybody with a private jet. Do you? No. Exactly. Drugs come from somewhere, and they're destroying our community, he says. You got folks like Brenda who think they need them to survive. And then you got the Khalils who think they need to sell them to survive. The Brendas can't get jobs unless they're clean, and they can't pay for rehab unless they got jobs. When the Khalils get arrested for selling drugs, they either spend most of their life in prison, another billion-dollar industry, or they have a hard time getting a real job and probably start selling drugs again. That's the hate they're giving us, baby, a system designed against us. That's thug life. I hear you, but Khalil didn't have to sell drugs, I say. You stopped doing it. True, but unless you're in his shoes, don't judge him. It's easier to fall into that life than it is to stay out of it, especially in a situation like his. Now, one more question. Really? Damn, he's messed with my head enough. Yeah, really, he mocks in a high voice. I don't even sound like that. After everything I said, how does Hug Life apply to the protests and the riots? I have to think about that one for a minute. Everybody's pissed because 115 hasn't been charged, I say, but also because he's not the first one to do something like this and get away with it. It's been happening, and people will keep rioting until it changes. So I guess the system's still giving hate, and everybody's still getting fucked? Daddy laughs and gives me a dap. My girl, watch your mouth, but yeah, that's about right. And we won't stop getting fucked till it changes. That's the key. It's got to change. A lump forms in my throat as the truth hits me. Hard. That's why people are speaking out, huh? Because it won't change unless we say something. Exactly. We can't be silent. So I can't be silent. Daddy stills. He looks at me. I see the fight in his eyes. No, I matter more to him than a movement. I'm his baby, and I'll always be his baby. And if being silent means I'm safe, he's all for it. This is bigger than me and Khalil, though. This is about us with a capital U. Everybody who looks like us, feels like us, and is experiencing this pain with us, despite not knowing me or Khalil. My silence isn't helping us. Daddy fixes his gaze on the road again. He nods. Yep, can't be silent. The trip to the warehouse is hell. You got all these people pushing big flatbeds around, and then things are hard to push as it is. and you got to maneuver while it's stacked with stuff. By the time we leave, I feel like Black Jesus snatched me from the depths of hell. Daddy does get me ice cream, though. Buying the stuff is only the first step. We unload it at the store, put it on the shelves, and we scratch that price sticker, put price stickers on all those bags of chips, cookies, and candies. I should have thought about that before I agreed to hang out with Daddy. While I do the hard work, he pays bills in his office. I'm putting stickers on the hot fries when somebody knocks on the front door. We're closed, I yell without looking. We have a sign. Can't they read? Obviously not. They knock again. Daddy appears in the doorway of his office. We closed! Another knock. Daddy disappears in his office and returns with his Glock. He's not supposed to carry it since he's a felon, but he says that technically he doesn't carry it. He keeps it in his office. He looks out at the person on the other side of the door. What you want? I'm hungry, a guy says. Can I buy something? Daddy unlocks the door and holds it open. You got 5 minutes. Thanks, Devante says as he comes in. His afro puff has become a full-blown afro. He has this wild look about him, and I don't mean because of his hair, but like in his eyes. They're puffy and red and darting around. He barely gives me a nod when he passes. Daddy waits at the cash register with his piece. Devante glances outside. He looks at the chips. Fritos, Cheetos, or Doritos? His voice trails off as he glances again. He notices me watching him and looks at the chips. Doritos. Damn, all right. Devante grabs a bag of Fritos. Can I get something to drink? Hurry up. Devante goes to the refrigerators. I join Daddy at the cash register. It's so obvious something is up. Devante keeps stretching his neck to look outside. His 5 minutes pass at least 3 times. It doesn't take anybody that long to choose between Coke, Pepsi, or Faygo. I'm sorry, but it doesn't. All right, Vante. Daddy motions him to the cash register. You trying to get the nerve to stick me up, or are you running from somebody? Hell nah, I ain't trying to stick you up. He takes out a wad of money and sets it on the counter. I'm paid, and I'm a king. I don't run from no damn buddy. No, you hide in stores, I say. He glares at me, but Daddy tells him she's right. You hiding from somebody, kings or GDs? It's not those GDs from the park, is it? I ask. Why don't you mind your business? He snaps. You came in my daddy's business, so I'm minding my business. Aye, Daddy says, but for real, who are you hiding from? Devante stares at his scuffed up chucks that are beyond help with my cleaning kit. King, he mumbles. Kings or king? Daddy asks. King, Devante repeats louder. He wants me to handle the dudes that killed my brother. I'm not trying to have that on me, though. Yeah, I heard about Dalvin, Daddy says. I'm sorry, what happened? We were at Big D's party and some GDs stepped to him. They got into it, and one of the cowards shot him in the back. Oh, damn. That was the same party Khalil and I were at. Those gunshots were the ones that made us leave. Big Mav, how did you get out of this game? Devante asks. Daddy strokes his goatee, studying Devante. The hard way, he eventually says. My daddy was a king lord, Adonis Carter, straight up OG. Yo, Devante says. That's your pops? Big Don? Yep, biggest drug dealer this city has ever seen. Yo, man, that's crazy, Devante's seriously fangirling right now. I heard he had cops working for him and everything. He pulled in big money. I heard my granddaddy was so busy pulling in money that he didn't have time for Daddy. There are lots of pictures of Daddy when he was younger, wearing mink coats, playing with expensive toys, flashing jewelry, and Grandpa Don isn't in any of the pictures. Probably so, Daddy says. I wouldn't know too much about that. He went to prison when I was 8. Been there ever since. I'm his only child, his son. Everybody expected me to pick up where he left off. I became a king lord when I was 12. Shit, that was the only way to survive. Somebody was always coming at me because of my pops, but if I was a king lord, I had folks to watch my back. Kinging became my life. I was down to die for it. Say the word. He glances at me. Then I became a daddy, and I realized that king lordship wasn't worth dying for. I wanted out, but you know how that game worked. It ain't easy as saying you're done. King was the crown, and he was my boy. But he couldn't let me out like that. I was making good money too, and it was honestly hard to consider walking away from it. Yeah, King says you're one of the best D-boys he ever knew, Devante says. Daddy shrugs. I got it from my pops, but really I was only good because I never got caught. One day, me and King took a trip to do a pickup and we got busted. Cops wanted to know who the weapons belonged to. King had 2 strikes, and that charge would have meant life. I don't have a record. I didn't have a record, so I took the charge and got a few years in probation. Loyal like a mother. Those were the hardest 3 years of my life. Growing up, I was pissed at my daddy for going to prison and leaving me. Come on, I mumble. Wait. Missed a page, sorry. And there I was, in the same prison as him, missing out on my babies' lives. Devontae's eyebrows meet. You were in prison with your pops? Daddy nods. All my life. People made him sound like a real king. You know what I'm saying? A legend. But he was a weak old man, regretting the time he missed with me. Realest thing he ever told me was, don't repeat my mistakes. Daddy looks at me again. And I was doing that. I missed first days of school, all that. He had my baby wanting to call somebody else daddy because I wasn't there. I look away. He knows how close Uncle Carlos and I became. I was officially done with King Lord shit, drug shit, all of it, Daddy says. And since I took that charge, King agreed to let me out. It made those 3 years worth it. Devontae's eyes dim like they do when he talks about his brother. You had to go to prison to get out? I'm the exception, not the rule, Daddy says. When people say it's for life, it's for life. You got to be willing to die in it or die for it. You want out? I don't want to go to prison. He didn't ask you that, I say. He asked if you wanted out. Devontae is quiet for a long time. He looks up at Daddy and says, I just want to be alive, man. Daddy strokes his goatee. He sighs. All right, I'll help you. But I promise, you go back to slinging or banging, you'll wish King would have gotten you by the time I'm done with you. You go to school? Yeah. What do your grades look like, Daddy asks. He shrugs. What the hell is this, Daddy? What the hell is this, Daddy imitates. Devontae shrugged. You know what grades you get, so what kind? I mean, I get A's and B's and shit, Devontae says. I ain't dumb. All right, good. We gotta make sure you stay in school, too. Man, I can't go back to Garden High, Devontae says. All them king lords up in there. You know that's a death wish, right? I ain't saying you was going there. We'll figure something out. In the meantime, you can work here in the store. You been staying home at night? Nah, King got his boys watching for me over there. Of course he do, Daddy mumbles. We'll figure something out with that too. Star, show him how to do the price stickers. You're really hiring him just like that, I ask? Whose store is this, Star? Yours, but enough said. Show him how to do the price stickers. Devontae snickers. I want to punch him in the throat. Come on, I mumble. We sit cross-legged in the chip aisle. Daddy locks the front door and goes back in his office. I grab a jumbo bag of hot Cheetos and slap a 99-cent sticker on them. You're supposed to show me how to do it, Devontae says. I'm showing you. Watch. I grab another bag. He leans real close over my shoulder. Too close. Breathing in my ear and shit. I've moved my head and look at him. Do you mind? What's your problem with me, he asks. You caught an attitude yesterday as soon as I walked up. I ain't done nothing to you. I put a sticker on some Doritos. No, but you did it to Denasia and Kenya, and who knows how many other girls in Garden Heights. Hold up. I ain't done nothing to Kenya. You asked for her number, didn't you, even though you were with Denasia? I'm not with Denasia. I just danced with her at that party, he says. She's the one who wanted to act like she was my girlfriend and got mad because I was talking to Kenya. If I wouldn't have been dealing with them, I could have, he swallows, I could have helped Dalvin. But by the time I got to him, he was on the floor bleeding. All I could do was hold him. I see myself sitting in a pool of blood, too. I try to tell him that it would be okay, even though you knew there's no chance in hell it would be. We go quiet. I get one of those weird deja vu moments, though. I see myself sitting cross-legged like I am now, but showing Khalil how to do price stickers. We couldn't help Khalil with his situation before he died. Maybe we can help Devontae. I hand him a bag of hot fries. I'm only going to explain how to use the price gun one time, and you better pay attention. He grins. My attention's all yours, little mama. Later, when I'm supposed to be asleep, my mom tells my dad in the hallway, So he's hiding from King, and you think he should hide here? Devante, apparently. Daddy couldn't figure it out and decided Devante should stay with us. Daddy dropped the two of us off a couple of hours ago before heading back to the store to protect it from rioters. He just got back. He said our house is the one place King wouldn't look for Devante. I had to do something, Daddy says. I understand that, and I know that you think this is your do-over with Khalil. It ain't like that. Yeah, it is, she says softly. I get it, baby. I have a ton of regrets regarding Khalil myself, but this is dangerous for our family. It's just for now. Devante can't stay in Garden Heights. This neighborhood ain't good for him. Wait, it's not good for him, but it's fine for our kids? Come on, Lisa. It's late. I'm not trying to hear this right now. I've been at that store all night. And I've been up all night worried about you, worried about my babies being in this neighborhood. They're fine. They ain't involved in none of that banging shit. Mama scoffs. Yeah, so fine I have to drive almost half an hour to get them to a decent school. And God forbid Sakani wants to play outside. I gotta drive to my brother's house where I don't have to worry about him getting shot like his sister's best friend did. It's messed up that she could either mean Khalil or Natasha. All right, let's say we move, Daddy says. Then what? We just like all the other sellouts who leave and turn their backs on the neighborhood. We can change stuff around here, but instead we run? Is that what you want to teach our kids? I want my kids to enjoy life. I get it, Maverick. You want to help people out. I do too. That's why I bust my butt every day at the clinic. But moving out of this neighborhood won't mean that you're real, and it won't mean that you can help this community. You need to figure out what's more important, your family or Garden Heights. I've already made my choice. What you saying? I'm saying I'll do what I gotta do for my babies. There are footsteps. Then a door closes. I stay up most of the night wondering what that means for them. Us? Okay, yeah, they've talked about moving before, but they weren't arguing about it like this until after Khalil died. If they break up, it'll be one more thing 115 takes from me. Chapter 15. It takes an untouched stack of pancakes for Mama to say, All right, Munch, what's up? We have a table to ourselves in IHOP. It's early morning, and the restaurant's almost empty except for us and these big-bellied, bearded truckers stuffing their faces in a booth. Thanks to them, country music's playing on the jukebox. I poke my fork at my pancakes. Not real hungry. Somewhat alive, somewhat the truth. I'm having a serious emotional hangover. There's that interview. Uncle Carlos, Haley, Khalil, Devante, my parents. Mama, Sakani, and I are spending the night at Uncle Carlos's house, and I know it was more because Mama's mad at Daddy than it was about the riots. In fact, the news said last night was the first semi-peaceful night in the garden. Just protests, no riots. Cops were still throwing tear gas, though. Anyway, if I bring up my parents' fight, Mama's going to tell me, stay out of grown folks' business. You think since it's partially my fault they would fight, they fought, it is my business. But nope. I don't know who you're supposed to believe that you're not hungry. You've always been greedy. I roll my eyes and yawn. She got me up too early and said we're going to IHOP, just the two of us, like we used to do before Sakani came along and ruined everything. He has an extra uniform at Uncle Carlos's and can go to school with Daniel. I only had some sweats and a Drake t-shirt, not DA office appropriate. I gotta go home and change. Thanks for bringing me here, I say. With my awful mood, I owe her that. Anytime, baby. We haven't hung out in a while. Somebody decided I wasn't cool anymore. I thought it was still cool, so whatever. She sips from her steaming mug of coffee. Are you scared to talk to the DA? Not really, although I do notice the clock is only 3.5 hours away from our 9:30 meeting. Is it that BS of an interview? That bastard. Here we go again. Mama, got his goddamn daddy going on TV telling lies, she says. And who's supposed to believe a grown man was that scared of 2 children? People on the internet are saying the same thing. Black Twitter's been going in on Officer Cruz's dad, claiming his name should be Tom Cruise with that performance he put on. Tumblr too. I'm sure there are people who believe him. Haley did, but Miss Ofra was right. It backfired. Folks who never met me or Khalil are calling BS. So while the interview bothers me, it doesn't bother me that much. It's not really the interview, I say. It's other stuff too. Like, Khalil, I say. Devante told me some stuff about him, and I feel guilty. Stuff like what? She says. Why, he sold drugs. He was trying to help Miss Brenda pay a debt to King. Mama's eyes widen. What? Yeah, and he wasn't a King Lord. Khalil turned King down, and King's been lying to save face. Mama shakes her head. Why am I not surprised? King would do some mess like that. I stare at my pancakes. I should have known better. Should have known Khalil better. You had no way of knowing, baby, she says. That's the thing. If I would have been there for him, I couldn't have stopped him. Khalil was almost as stubborn as you. I know you cared about him a lot, even as more than a friend. But you can't blame yourself for this. I look up at her. What do you mean, cared about him more than a friend? Don't play dumb, Star. You all liked each other for a long time. You think he liked me too? Lord, Mama rolls her eyes. Between the two of us, I'm the old one. You just called yourself an old fart. You just called yourself old. Older one, she corrects and shoots me a quick stink eye. And I saw it. How in the world did you miss it? I don't know. He always talks about other girls, not me. It's weird though. I thought I was over my crush, but sometimes I don't know. Mama traces the rim of her mug. Munch, she says, and is followed by a sigh. Baby, look. You're grieving, okay? That can amplify your emotions and make you feel things you haven't felt in a long time. Even if you do have feelings for Khalil, there's nothing wrong with that. Even though I'm with Chris? Yes, you're 16. You're allowed to have feelings for more than one person. So you're saying I can be a hoe? Girl, she points at me, don't make me kick you under this table. I'm saying don't beat yourself up about it. Grieve Khalil all you want. Miss him. Allow yourself to miss him. Miss what could have been. Let your feelings get out of whack. But like I told you, don't stop living, all right? All right. Good. So that's two things, she says. What else is up? What isn't up? My head is tight like my brain is overloaded. I'm guessing emotional hangover feels a lot like hangovers. Haley, I say. She slurps her coffee loudly. What that little girl do now? Here she goes with this. Mama, you never liked her. No, I've never liked how you've followed her like you can't think for yourself. There's a difference. I haven't. Don't lie. Remember that drum set you begged me to buy? Why did you want it, Star? Haley wanted to start a band, but I liked the idea too. Hold up, though. Didn't you tell me you wanted to play guitar in this band, but Haley said you should play the drums? Yeah, but them little Jonas boys, she says, which one did you really like? Joe. But who said you should be with the curly haired one instead? Haley, but Nick was fine as all get out. And this middle school stuff. Uh huh. Last year you begged me to let you color your hair purple. Why, Star? I wanted. No, why, Star, she says. The real why. Damn, there's a pattern here. Because Haley wanted me, her, and Maya to have matching hair. Exact-damnly, baby. I love you, but you have a history of putting your wants aside and doing whatever that little girl wants. Excuse me if I don't like her. With all my receipts put out like that, I say, I can see why. Good. Realizing this is the first step. So what'd you do now? We had an argument yesterday, I say. Really, though, things have been weird for a while. She stopped texting me and unfollowed my Tumblr. Mama reaches her fork onto my plate and breaks off a piece of pancake. What is Tumblr, anyways? Is it like Facebook? No, and you're forbidden to get one. No parents allowed. You guys already took over Facebook. You haven't responded to my friend request yet. I know. I need Candy Crush lives. That's why I'll never respond. She gives me the look. I don't care. There are some things I absolutely refuse to do. So she unfollowed your Tumblr thingy, Mama says, proving why she can never have one. Is that all? No, she said and did some stupid stuff too. I rub my eyes. Like I said, it's too early. I'm starting to wonder why we're friends. Well, Munch, she gets another freaking piece of my pancake. If you decide the relationship is worth salvaging, make a list of the good stuff and make a list of the bad stuff. If one outweighs the other, then you know what you gotta do. Trust me, that method hasn't failed me yet. Is that what you did with Daddy after Alicia got pregnant? I asked. Because I'll be honest, I would have kicked him to the curb. No offense. It's all right. A lot of people called me a fool for going back to your daddy. Shoot, they may still call me a fool behind my back. Your Nana would have a stroke if she knew this, but she's the real reason I stayed with your daddy. I thought Nana hated Daddy. I think Nana still hates Daddy. Sadness creeps into Mama's eyes, but she gives me a small smile. When I was growing up, your grandmother would do and say hurtful things when she was drunk and apologize the next morning. At an early age, I learned that people make mistakes, and you have to decide if their mistakes are bigger than your love for them. She takes a deep breath. Seven's not a mistake. I love him to death, but Maverick made a mistake in his action. However, all of his good and all the love we share outweighs the one mistake. Even with crazy Aisha in our lives, I ask? Mama chuckles. He hasn't been with crazy, messy, annoying Aisha. It's a little different, yeah, but it outweighs the bad. Keep Haley in your life, baby. That might be the problem. A lot of good stuff is from the past. The Jonas Brothers, High School Musical, our shared grief. Our friendship is based on memories. What do we have now? What if the good doesn't outweigh the bad, I ask? Then let her go, Mama says. And if you keep her in your life and she keeps doing the bad, let her go. Because I promise you, had your daddy pulled the same mess like that again, I'd be married to Idris Elba and say, Maverick who? I bust out laughing. Now eat, she says, and hands me her fork, before I have no choice but to eat all these pancakes for you. I'm so used to seeing smoke in Garden Heights, it's weird when we go back and there isn't any. It's dreary because of a late-night storm, but we can ride with the windows down. Even though the riot stopped, we pass many tanks as we pass lowriders. But at home, the smoke greets us at the front door. Maverick, Mama hollers as we hurry towards the kitchen. Daddy pours water on a skillet in the sink, and the skillet responds with a loud sizzle and a white cloud. Whatever he burned it bad. Hallelujah, Seven throws his hands up at the table. Somebody who can actually cook. Shut up, Daddy says. Mama takes the skillet and examines the unidentifiable remains. What was this? Eggs? Glad to see you know how to come home, he says. He walks right by me without a glance or a good morning. Is he still pissed about Chris? Mama gets a fork and stabs at the charred food stuck to the skillet. You want some breakfast, Seven, baby? He watches her and goes, nah. By the way, the skillet didn't do anything, Ma. You're right, she says, but she keeps stabbing. Seriously, I can fix you something. Eggs, bacon. She looks towards the hall and shouts, the pork kind, pig, swine, all of that. Oh, sorry, guys. So much for the food good outweighing the bad. Seven and I look at each other. We hate when they fight because we always get stuck in the middle of their wars. Our appetites are the greatest casualty. If Mama's mad and not cooking, we have to eat Daddy's struggle meals like spaghetti with ketchup and hot dogs in it. I'll grab something at school. Seven kisses her cheek. Thanks, though. He gives me a fist bump on his way out. The Seven way of wishing me good luck. Daddy returns wearing a backwards cap. He grabs his keys and a banana. We have to be at the DEA's office at 9:30, Mama says. Are you coming? Oh, Carlos can't do it? Since he's the only one y'all let in on secrets and stuff. You know what, Maverick? I'll be there, he says, and leaves. Mama stabs the skillet some more. The DA personally escorts us to the conference room. Her name is Karen Monroe, and she's a middle-aged white lady who claims she understands what I'm going through. Miss Ophir is already in the conference room, along with some people who work at the DA's office. Miss Monroe gives a long speech about how she wants justice for Khalil and apologizes that it's taken so long for us to meet. 12 days to be exact, Daddy points out. Too long, if you ask me. Mrs. Monroe looks a bit uncomfortable at that. She explains the grand jury proceedings. Then she asks about the night. I pretty much tell her what I told the cops, except for she doesn't ask stupid questions about Khalil. But when I get to the part where I describe the number of shots, how they hit Khalil in the back, the look on his face, my stomach bubbles, bile pools in my mouth, and I gag. Mama jumps up and grabs a garbage bin. She puts it in front of me quick enough to catch the vomit that spews from my mouth. I cry and puke. Cry and puke. It's all I can do. The DA gets me a soda and says, That'll be all today, sweetie. Thank you. Daddy helps me to Mama's car, and the people in the halls gawk. I bet they know I'm the witness for my teary, snotty face and are probably giving me a new name. Poor thing. As in, oh, that poor thing. That makes it worse. I get in the car, away from the pity, and rest my head against the window, feeling like shit. Mama parks in front of the store, and Daddy pulls up behind us. He gets out his truck and comes to Mama's side of the car. She rolls her window down. I'm going to the school, she tells him. They need to know what's going on. Can she stay with you? Yeah, that's fine. She can rest in the office. Another thing puking and crying gets you, people talk about you like you're not there and make plans for you. Poor thing, apparently can't hear. You sure, Mama asks him, or do I need to take her to Carlos? Daddy sighs. Lisa. Maverick, I don't give a flying monkey's ass what your problem is. Just be there for your daughter. Please? Daddy moves to my side of the car and opens the door. Come here, baby. I climb out, blubbering like a little kid who skinned her knee. Daddy pulls me to his chest, rubbing my back and kissing my hair. Mama dries off. I'm sorry, baby, he says. The crying, the puking don't mean anything anymore. My daddy's got me. We go in the store. Daddy turns on the lights but keeps the closed sign in the window. He goes to his office for a second, then comes back to me and holds my chin. Open your mouth, he says. I open it and his face scrunches up. Ew! We gotta get you a whole bunch of mouthwash. About to raise the dead with that breath. I laugh with tears in my eye. Like I said, Daddy's talented that way. He wipes my face with his hands, which are rough as sandpaper, but I'm used to them. He frames my face. I smile. There go my baby, he says. You be all right. I feel normal enough to say, now I'm your baby? You haven't been acting like it. Don't start, he goes down the medicine aisle, sounding like your mama. I'm just saying, you've been extra salty today. He returns with a bottle of Listerine. Here, before you kill my produce with your breath. Like you killed those eggs this morning? Aye, those were blackened eggs. You don't know about that. A couple of rinses in the restroom transform my mouth from a swamp of puke residue to normal. Daddy waits in the wooden bench at the front of the store. Our older customers who can't walk much usually sit there as Daddy, Seven, or I get the groceries for them. Daddy pats a spot next to him. I sit. You gonna open back up soon? In a little bit. What you see in that white boy? Damn, I wasn't expecting him to go right into it. Besides the fact he's adorable, I say, and Daddy makes a gagging sound. He's smart, funny, and he cares about me. A lot. You got a problem with black boys? No, I've had black boyfriends. 3 of them. 1 in 4th grade, although that doesn't really count, and 2 in middle school, which don't count either, because nobody knows shit about a relationship in middle school. Or anything, really. What, he says? I ain't know about them? Because I knew you'd act crazy. Put a hit on him or something. You know, that ain't a bad idea. Daddy, I smack his arm as he cracks up. Did Carlos know about them, he asks. No, he would have run background checks on all of them, or arrested them. Not cool. So why'd you tell him about the white boy? I didn't tell him, I say. He found out. Chris lives down the street from him, so it was harder to hide. And let's be real here, Daddy. I've heard stuff you've said about interracial couples, and I didn't want you talking about me and Chris like that. Chris, he mocks. What kind of plain-ass name is that? He's so petty. Since you want to ask me questions, do you have a problem with white people? Not really. Not really? I'm being honest. My thing is, girls usually date boys who are like their daddies. And I ain't gonna lie, when I saw that white Chris, he corrects, and I smile. I got worried. I thought you turned against black men, or I didn't set a good example as a black man. I couldn't handle that. I rest my head on his shoulder. Nah, Daddy, you've just set a good example of what a black man should be. You set a good example of what a man should be. Duh. Duh, he mocks and kisses the top of my head. My baby. A gray BMW comes to a sudden stop in front of the store. Daddy nudges me off the bench. Come on. He pulls me into his office and shoves me in. I catch a glimpse of King getting out of the BMW before Daddy closes the door in my face. Hands shaking, I crack open the door. Daddy stands guard in the entrance of the store. His hand drifts to his waist. His piece. 3 other King Lords hop out of the BMW, but Daddy calls out, Nah, if you want to talk, we do this alone. King nods at his boys. They wait beside the car. Daddy steps aside, and King lumbers in. I'm ashamed to admit it, but I don't know if Daddy stands a chance against King. Daddy isn't skinny or short, but compared to King, who's pure muscle at 6 feet, he looks tiny. It's damn near blasphemous to think like that, though. Where he at? King asks. Where who at? You know who. Vante. How am I supposed to know? Daddy says. He was working here, wasn't he? For a day or two, yeah, I ain't seen him today. King paces and points his cigar at Daddy. Sweat glistens on rolls of fat on the back of his head. You lying. Why I gotta lie, King? All the shit I did for you, King says, and this is how you repay me? Where he at, Big Mav? I don't know. Where he at, King yells. I said I don't know. He asked me for a couple $100 the other day. I told him he had to work for it, so he did. I had some mercy and paid it all up front like a dumbass. He was supposed to come in today and didn't. End of story. Why he need money from you when he stole 5 G's from me? Hell if I know, Daddy says. If I found out you're lying, you ain't got to worry about that. Got too many goddamn problems of my own. Oh, yeah, I know about your problems, King says, a laugh bubbling from him. I heard Star, the witness, they've been talking about on the news. Hope she know to keep her mouth shut when she's supposed to. What the hell's that supposed to mean? These cases always interesting, King says. They dig for information. Shit, they try to find out more about the person who died than the person who shot them. Make it seem like a good thing they got killed. They already saying Khalil sold drugs. That could mean problems for anybody who might have been involved in his hustle. So people got to be careful when they talk into the DA. Wouldn't want them to be in danger because they ran their mouth. Nah, Daddy said, the folks who were involved in the hustle need to be careful about what they say or even think about doing. There are several agonizing seconds of Daddy and King staring each other down. Daddy's hand is at his waist like it's glued there. King leaves, pushing the door hard enough to nearly break the hinges, the bell clanging wildly. He gets in his BMW, his minions follow, and he peels out, leaving the truth behind. He's going to mess me up if I rat on him. Daddy sinks into the old people's bench, his shoulders slump, and he takes a deep breath. We close early and pick up dinner from Reuben's. During the short drive home, I notice every car behind us, especially if it's gray. I won't let him do anything to you, Daddy says. I know, but still. Mama's beating the hell out of some steaks when we get home. First the skillet and now red meat. Nothing in the kitchen is safe. Daddy holds up bags for her to see. I got dinner, baby. It doesn't stop her from beating those steaks. We all sit around the kitchen table, but it's the quietest dinner in Carter family history. My parents aren't talking. Seven's not talking. I'm definitely not talking. Or eating. Between the disaster at the DA's office and King, my ribs and baked beans look disgusting. Sakani can't sit still, like he's itching to give every detail of his day. I guess he can tell nobody's in the mood. Bricks chomps and slobbers over some ribs in his corner. Afterward, Mama collects our plates and silverware. All right, guys, finish your homework, and don't worry, Star, your teacher gave me yours. Why would I worry about that? Thanks. She starts to pick up Daddy's plate, but he touches her arm. Nah, I got it. He takes the plates from her, dumps them in the sink, and turns the water on. Maverick, you don't have to do that. He squirts way too much dishwashing liquid into the sink. He always does. It's cool. What time you got to be at the clinic this morning? I'll be off again tomorrow. I have a job interview. Daddy turns around. Another one? Another one? Yeah, Markham Memorial again. That's where Aunt Pam works, I say. Yeah, her dad is on the board and recommended me. It's the pediatrics nursing manager. This is my second interview for it, actually. They want some of the higher-ups to interview me this time. Baby, that's amazing, Daddy says. That means you're pretty close to getting it, huh? Hopefully, she says. Pam thinks it's as good as mine. Why didn't you guys tell us? Seven asks. Because it's none of y'all business, Daddy says. And we didn't want to get your hopes up, Mama adds. It's a competitive position. How much does it pay, Seven? Rude self asks. More than when I make at the clinic. 6 figures. 6, Seven and I say. Mama's going to be a millionaire, Sakani shouts. I swear he doesn't know anything. 6 figures is hundreds of thousands, Sakani, I say. Oh, it's still a lot. What time is your interview, Daddy asks. 11. Okay, good. He turns around and wipes a plate. We can look at some houses before you go to it. Mama's hand goes across her chest and she steps back. What? He looks at me and then her. I'm getting us out of Garden Heights, baby. You got my word. The idea is as crazy as a 4-point shot. Living somewhere other than Garden Heights? Yeah, right. I'd never believe it if it wasn't Daddy saying it. Daddy never says something unless he means it. King's threat must have really got to him. He scrubs the skillet that Mama stabbed this morning. She takes it from him, sets it down, and grabs his hand. Don't worry about that. I told you it's cool. I can get the dishes. Forget the dishes. And she pulls him into their bedroom and closes the door. Suddenly their TV blares real loud, and Jodeci sings over it from the stereo. If some woman ends up with a fetus in her uterus, I will be completely done. Done. Ill, man, Seven says, knowing the deal too. They're too old for that. Too old for what? Sakani asks. Nothing, and Seven and I say together. You think Daddy meant that, though? I ask Seven. We're moving? He twists one of his dreads at the root. I don't think he realizes he's doing it. Sounds like y'all are, especially if Ma gets this job. Y'all, I say, you're not staying in Garden Heights. I mean, I'll visit, but I can't leave my mama and my sister, Star. You know that. Your mama put you out, Sakani says. Where else you gonna go, stupid? Who are you calling stupid? Seven sticks his hand under his armpit and rubs it in Sakani's face. The one time he did it to me, I was 9. He got a busted lip, and I got a whooping. You're not going to be at your mama's house anyway, I say. You're going away to college. Hallelujah. Thank Black Jesus. Seven raises his eyebrows. You want an armpit hand too? And I'm going to Central Community so I can stay at my mama's house and watch out for my sisters. That stings. A little. I'm his sister too, not just them. House, I repeat. You never call it home. Yeah, I do, he says. No, you don't. Yeah. Shut the hell up, I end that argument. Ooh, Sakani holds his hands out. Give me my $1. Hell no, I say, that shit doesn't work with me. $3. Okay, fine. I'll give you a $3 bill. I've never seen a $3 bill, he says. Exactly. And you'll never see my $3.